Okay, so let's talk about grounding for a moment. So here's our installed meter. As you can see there, I've got the feeders landed up there at the top. So we got our A phase and our B phase and our neutral. So let's talk for a minute about grounding. Now, this meter can that we got in front of us is required by code. Article 250 is all the grounding. I happen to have a code book right here, and I'll just show you quickly that Article 250 is all about grounding. Yep, there it is right there. Article 250, grounding and bonding. So you want to become very familiar with that article. So what happens is we got our power line coming in up there. So you got two hots and a neutral. They're going to come down the pipe. Here's our hot, there's our neutral. But to the power company, that is the ground as far as they're concerned. So that ground goes from there down onto that connector, and then it hits this one right here, and it goes all the way down to our bus bar, like so. And then it goes to these two terminals, and I've got a grounding wire right there going through that pipe, and then I'm hitting this grounding bridge, and the city that I live in requires these on any upgraded system. This grounding bridge will allow for data equipment to be grounded. So see, all of their stuff was just sort of willy-nilly tapped onto the outside of the meter can. Now it's hit here, we're going to put a cover on that, and then our grounding wire goes all the way down into the ground, and it goes to our first ground rod, which is barely visible right there. See that? That's ground rod number 1. And then 6 feet over there, I've got ground rod number 2. And in this area of the country, we require 2 ground rods to be driven because of the way that the soil ohms out power or bleeds out power. It doesn't dissipate fast enough. So we put in 2 ground rods around here. Now, this is our main point of disconnect. And so because it's our main point of disconnect for the house, we have to have what one journeyman I know called a grounding target. So a grounding target is where all of your structure grounds, all your circuit grounds are coming out, and they're all hitting one place that's bonded in with the utility company coming down. So this is our grounding target right here. So all loose power is going to end up in that location and then down and out into the earth. And so that's how a grounding system works. You have to have it like this. Do not ever cut this wire. It has to be a continuous wire all the way down into a ground rod and through. Now, it's an interesting bit of read in the code book what you're allowed to use for different forms of grounding. We use ground rods, but you can have a grounding plate or a grounding ring or different things like that. So it's kind of fun to read that and see what's there. So that's what we got going as far as grounding. So that's very important. Inspectors look for that kind of thing, and it's vital to a properly installed system.